Today we're taking a look at three rifles from the firm of WJ Jeffery. Unfortunately, the firm does not exist independently today anymore. In the late 50s, it was incorporated into the firm of Wesley Richards as an agency product, and they took care of WJ Jeffery orders. And when Wesley Richards and Holland merged, the rifles of Jfree went into that same mix. So to order a original WJ Jeffery today is not a simple undertaking. The three rifles we'll be reviewing from left to right is going to be the 333 Jfree rifle that shoots a 300 grain bullet, and which unfortunately was developed around about the same time as the 375 Holland, which having far superior speed surpassed this rifle and really did an injustice to this caliber. So the 333 Jfree is a rare, it's rare to find people actually hunting with the 333 today. However, with that long for caliber bullet, it has great sectional density, great penetration, and actually is a low recoil, very good hunting caliber. Next to it is a very significantly more popular caliber in the 404 Jfree. The 404 Jfree shoots a 400 grain bullet. It has greater frontal diameter compared to the 416 Rigby, and again a rifle of moderate recoil. Became very popular in Africa as a game ranger rifle, as well as around about the same time as the 425 Wesley Richards. Now the Wesley Richards had a rebated rim, which the 404 Jfree doesn't have, and that really made the 404 Jfree significantly more popular. I think something else that has revived the popularity of the 404 Jfree, it is available today as a factory load from Hornady ammunition. So easy to access ammunition, great caliber for dangerous game. And then on the far right we have the mighty 500 Jfree, which shoots a 535 grain bullet. It has a rebated rim, and this rifle is really truly built as a dangerous game stopper. Shoots that 500 grain bullet at north of 2,000 feet per second, and it packs a punch, but with that comes significant recoil. Now we're not going to really review a lot of history behind these rifles. If you enjoy history, or if it's something that you're interested in, there's a really good set of books called British Gunmakers. It's a 2-volume edition. It is a set that was originally written by Nigel Brown. And what I do like about this set of books is not only does it have the history of the specific rifle makers, but it actually also contains a lot of specific history regarding specific serial numbers on these rifles. So if you have a rifle, you can go into these books and actually find out when it was manufactured. And if they have a little bit of history, you can actually find that history within these books. So a really good source to reference. The three rifles we'll be reviewing are kept in the same order as the bullets. So on the left hand side we have the single square breech 333 Jfree. It is built on a genuine original Oberndorf Mauser action. Next to it in the middle we have the 404 Jfree. It is built on a non-square breech action and is of a lower grade, most probably Ranger type rifle. Then on the far right we have the 500 Jfree, built on a double square breech action. And I think just maybe 2 or 3 points. If we look on the two rifles on the left hand side, the 333 Jfree and the 404, both of those rifles were built in the period between 1920 and 1940, looking at their serial numbers. The 500 Jfree on the far right is a much newer rifle. That rifle was built in the period between 2001 and 2003. A final unique feature of the 333 Jfree is the fact that it has a metal butt plate with a trap door, and that trap door actually has a compartment behind it for a pull-through bore snake type cleaning equipment for the 333. So even in the period between 1920 and 1940, a lot of detail was spent on, providing novel and good ideas to keep your equipment well maintained and clean, even on a safari in Africa. Looking at these rifles in a little more detail, I think it's very obvious that the 333 Jfree on the far left and the 500 Jfree on the far right are of higher quality grades, truly phenomenal pieces of wood used to make the stocks. The 404, not that dramatic, but nevertheless the wood to metal fit on these rifles are exquisite. Something interesting on the 333 on the far left side, you can see on the rear of the bolt there is a peep sight device which actually has settings for elevation and can actually be adjusted for basically any elevation from 100 to 400 yards. That necessitates a couple of changes on the front side of the rifle, but a very nice functional piece of equipment, the peep sight on the ghost ring sight on the back of the bolt action. If we take that 333 and we just run north towards the muzzle, you can see, number one, if we look at the rear island, you can see on the rear island, very interesting, all of the blades actually falls flat. That is to accommodate that peep sight on the back. If we look at the 404 just to the right of it, the rear island has one fixed standing blade there. It's a dangerous game rifle, so you don't want to end up with no sights ever in a situation. So a very practical setup. Now, one of the characteristics of Jfree rifles was the way that Jfree set up the barrels. So if we just take a little bit of a look at the barrels moving from the bolt to the muzzle, you can very clearly see that these barrels actually have a contour that changes. So it starts at the just in front of the action at its thickest point, and then as it progresses towards the muzzle, it actually changes in diameter, so it becomes thinner as you move towards the front. And that gives you two I would say kind of advantages. The first one is it removes a little bit of weight, so it makes the rifle a little lighter. Secondly, it also adds definite aesthetic appeal. These rifles are really nice rifles to look at. They very nice English contours, very appealing to the eye. All in all, these rifles, the first two rifles, the 404 and the 333, never set up, never drilled and tapped, so no scopes, none of that possible on these two rifles, which is what they were designed to do. If we change and we have a quick look at the 500 Jfree, that is a significantly more modern rifle. And one thing you'll be able to note on the double square breech is there's a set of claw mounts installed there. That set of claw mounts, very reliable, very sturdy, and they're matched up with a set of interlocking rings which carry a Swarovski Z6 scope. We'll look at a little more detail in these rifles in their cases, because all of these rifles came cased, and we'll just take them into their cases and have a quick look. In looking at the 500 Jfree, just a couple of comments. Firstly, I think the quality of the wood used on this rifle is just absolutely exquisite. Secondly, it comes in a full leather case, which is a much more modern case. You'll see that the case is in really absolute 100% quality and condition. Nothing in this case is showing any signs of usage or any neglect. So it's a pretty really beautiful case with all the functional items in it. So if we just quickly review what's in this case, obviously there's enough space for the actual rifle in there. The rifle comes packed in this case with the Swarovski Z6 scope, which is clearly visible there. All the cleaning equipment is in there, so there's a salvet cloth to wipe the rifle, cleaning rod, and also some kind of brushes to actually clean that big barrel. There's space for the bolt, and we'll take a look at that in just a second. Then it also comes with a sling with machined swivels that fits the more modern swivels on this rifle. And a very nice addition to this rifle, and I'll try and just kind of focus in on that a little bit, is right on the edge of this rifle. It actually comes with a night sight, which flips up and flips over the normal sight. So if you have to hunt in dark conditions, the night sight's there. It's fully available, and it is absolutely ready to be utilized. So a very nice addition to this rifle. One additional feature of this 500 Jfree is the elephant inlaid in gold on the grip cap. As you can see there, a very nice touch for a very high-grade rifle. Now, just reviewing this rifle fully packed in its case, we'll just kind of review it. You can see it's a very snug fit. Nothing's going to move around in this case. The rifle actually has a belt around the grip there to catch it and keep it nice and tight in this case. So again, everything fits very well and is very well packed for a very practical layout in this case. The case of the 404 Jfree is completely different. It is a canvas case with a couple of leather trimmings and brass corners. And these cases were originally developed to actually truly act as a traveling case. You'll see that the case does come with a very simple lockup mechanism to make sure nobody gets into your firearms. And right at the end here, it actually has a pretty nice leather feature there that actually states the caliber and serial number. Now, if we open up this case, you'll see that this case is really, in the old days, they really had a knack of making sure everything fit, and it was a truly practical layout. And looking at the inside of the 404 Jfree case, again, you can see clearly enough space there for a hunting knife, and that's where the bolt will also reside when we put the gun in. Next to it, there's a nice space for a Vaseline jar. It even carries space for 2 turn screws. These turn screws were manufactured for the actual rifle because if you had screws that loosen up on the rifle while hunting in Africa, there was no Leatherman around in those days, so that was the tools you had available. Next to that is the oil pot, and then you can see the actual cleaning jags in that leather pouch and also a leather sling. On the right, you can see the remnants of the cleaning rod that sticks out there, and you know, that is where the cleaning rod lived. It was in its own compartment, made very sure that it doesn't rub against your rifle. And very interesting, in the old days, Kynoch would pack their bullets, 5 bullets per box, just like those 2 404 Jfree boxes right there, and you can lay them flat and stack them in your gun box, as many as you could fit in there. Because in the old days, you could basically put your gun, your ammo, everything together, lock up that box, hop on a steamer, and head for Africa. So a very practical layout, and again, everything kept together very snugly. Let's put the gun in there. And there we have it. That 404 very snugly in that case. You can see it doesn't even touch those bullet boxes behind it. Space for plenty more. And you know, if we move to the front of the box, again, everything fits very snugly, very exact, very precise. Nothing will get damaged or harmed in this gun case. And here we have the case of the 333 Jfree. Again, canvas, brass corner case. This case is a little different. You can see that this case has traveled. It has been used. It is an old, well cared for, but definitely a very well used case. It has done a couple of trips, and I think if this case could talk, it would share with us a couple of truly interesting stories. Now again, even though this case is old and well used on the outside, you can see on the inside everything is very well protected. Again, it has space for the ammunition boxes. There's a couple of small intricate differences between this case and the one of the 404. You can see that this one, the cleaning rod actually resides at the back end of the case. It is a position where it's got a couple of grooves in there that'll make sure that you know, that cleaning rod's not going to fall out and scratch your rifle. It still has space for all of the other pieces of equipment, cleaning equipment, sling, the turn screws, and a couple of other cleaning pieces of equipment like the salvet cloth and the oil bottle. Again, just a quick peek at that pop-up ghost ring sight on the back of the action there. Other than that, you can see this rifle again fits this case absolutely perfectly, you know, right from the muzzle end going back, lies very snug on top of the ammunition, doesn't touch those ammo boxes, and you know, right out to the back, everything fits very perfectly, very snugly. Nothing is going to get in the way of anything else. I hope you enjoyed this short review of 3 very fine firearms made many years ago by a very fine British gunmaker, WJ Jeffery.